Now, this man has spent 2 years calling Trump a fascist, and now he got a chance to meet him in person. And I'll just say it went exactly how you thought it went. Exactly. Let me show you how fast the campaign talk collapses when reality actually walked up in a room. Let's start with this clip.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay.
It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Are you
That's easier than explaining. My guy said, "Hey, bro, let me teach you how to get straight to the point as opposed to doing all that yada yada." You know, bro didn't even get a full sentence out before Trump cut him off like a substitute teacher. You can see Mamdani's soul step out of his body, man. Yeah, 2 weeks ago he was screaming fascist, but in person, hand on shoulder, smile. Don't want no smoke when they give you the long-winded answer. And trust me, it only gets worse because the moment he leaves that seat, the press is waiting for receipts.
Protesters.
Jack?
Mr. President, I want to know from the...
I said waiting for receipts. I meant to say waiting with. Oh, well.
Protesters.
Jack?
Mr. President, I want to know from the policies as well that Mayor Mamdani talked a number of times about on the campaign was shifting the tax burden for property taxes from what he called minority communities to white-based communities and putting more taxes on white people. I also noticed that in your acceptance speech you didn't mention anything about America or Christians or white people in general, and so I didn't know if that was one of the policies that you guys had spoken about.
We focused on affordability. We focused on the cost of living crisis. What I will say is that I am very much interested in property tax reform because what we see right now in New York City is a system that is so inequitable that it can't even stand up in court. And the president and I spoke about the importance of not only building more housing, but also making sure that regulation of housing is something that is manageable to actually get through and not the cause of yet another weight that we see in our city.
To be clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear,
That's what you said.
no, the use of the term was a description of neighborhoods, not a description of intent.
So you intend to tax the whiter neighborhoods more?
No, we intend to create a fair property tax system because we want a New York City that is not only fair and equitable, but also one that every New Yorker can afford.
Yeah, they wasn't letting that slide, my boy. The second Mamdani hit the hallway, Jack. I don't even want to try to sit here and try to butcher his last name. Pull it up like, hey, bro, you remember the race-based taxes you wanted? Yeah, you remember those? What's up with those? And Mamdani, you know, he just switched into customer service mode immediately. Yeah, man, that's not the same dude from X, is it? He went from ether rich to, well, actually, if you read the fine print. And listen, that wasn't even the moment that he folded the hardest. Because journalists weren't done with him yet. They weren't done.
quick one for the mayor? Why did you fly here? Aren't trains greener?
I'll use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There is a bus that goes.
Well, I know, but if he flew, that's a lot quicker too. You know, I mean, he's working very hard for him to be. That's a very long drive. I'll stick up for you. You know, the plane takes you 30 minutes, and driving takes you a long
Mr.
time.
President, I was wondering, a quick one for the mayor.
Aww. Trump taking up for him, coming to save him. Aww. This right here, this is the part progressives don't want to talk about. This man built his whole campaign on green policies, and then he, you know, takes a plane to D.C. The reporter was ready to pack him up until I said jump. I mean, it do rhyme with Trump, but until Trump jumped in again to save this man's political life. Translation, he's lying, but I like him, so relax. And after 2 bailouts in one meeting, we finally get the full picture inside the Oval Office, y'all. Let's go ahead and look at the top, I believe, 7 moments that he put up here. Yeah, let's look.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani.
Oh, wow, the volume on this one is really low. I'm sorry, guys. Let me boost that up for you.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't. But she's out there campaigning, and you know, you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of
She's a very capable person. But you really have to ask her about that. But I don't particularly. I think I met with I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see New York be great again. And I can say again, because New York was great.
Why did you fly here?
I'm sorry. Mamdani, oh my God, he looked like, oh, Trump, man. Why you say that, man? Hey, man, my whole supporter base about to turn on me even more.
Screener.
Again, and I can say again, because New York was great.
Why did you fly here? Aren't trains greener?
I'll use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There's a bus that goes.
Well, but I know, but it'd be fluid. That's a lot quicker too. I mean, he's working very hard. For him to be, that's a very long drive. I'll stick up for you. The plane takes you 30 minutes, and driving takes you a long time.
It sounds like you had a productive discussion, but just days ago you referred to President Trump as a despot who betrayed the country. You said you would be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the president is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are.
And I've been called much worse than a despot, so it's not that insulting. Maybe I think he'll change his mind after we get to working together. Yes, please.
Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
So is that a reduction from what you're at right now? Are you committing to maintaining the same level of cops?
I've committed over the course of the campaign to maintain the 35,000. That's the head count that we had through the campaign.
And not replace them with caseworkers, social work?
No, I've said that's the head count that we want. What we need to do is make sure they can focus on serious crime.
And he just retained a great police commissioner, I believe, right?
Yes, we did. Commissioner Fish.
If the newspapers are correct.
That one they're correct about.
He retained, I think, somebody that is she's a good friend of some of the people in my family, of Ivanka, and they say she's really good, really competent, and he just retained her, so that's a good sign. Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused in New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job. But I'll let you answer that. You consider yourself the leader of the Democrats. I think it's more appropriate for him.
I consider myself the next mayor of New York City, and I keep my horizons firmly on New York City, and I appreciate the meeting with the president, which focused again on the 5 boroughs and whether New Yorkers could afford to live there.
By the way, being the mayor of New York City is a big deal.
Absolutely.
I always said, one of the things I would have loved to be someday is the mayor of New York City. Being the mayor of New York, and especially now, because I think you're at really a turning point, one way or the other. It could go great, or it can go in a different direction. And I think you really have a chance to make it great. I appreciate what you're saying.
Mr. President, you say you love New York City.
This is when it becomes painfully clear. Mamdani didn't meet Fox News Trump. He met real life Donald John Quavius Trump, as Key Benet likes to put it. The one who's charming, funny, and low-key impossible to hate in person. Trump's calling him rational. Trump's defending him. Trump's joking with him, smiling like he already owns this man on a lease. And Mamdani laughing, nodding, agreeing, trying not to do all of those things every step of the way. It's the political version of meeting your bully and realizing, hey, you know what? He's actually pretty cool. And TikTok was not gentle about it.
Mamdani is learning in real time that there is a difference between campaigning and governing. He just sat up there or stood up there like a nice little puppy while while the press was confronting him with his own words. Trump had to bail him out. Now, you have a bunch of leftists out there wanting Mamdani to stand up to Trump. Like, what did you think it was going to look like? What do you think it was going to look like? Huh? You people, man. Now, we got the cope out here. The cope. Yo, we are living through Parks and Recs, Veep, all into one. But the veil is slowly being pulled out, man. You see, Mamdani met the real Trump. Not the Trump that you see on camera. He met the real Trump. And I'm just assuming, and you know what they say about assuming, I'm assuming that he's like, yo, the media got it wrong. Now, you know, it's politics, so he's going to go back to his base and tell them how it went behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Bigging himself up. I told Donald this, and he said, come on, man. Anyway, I wish him the best of luck because I know the difference between campaigning and governing. Now is the governing season, okay? And you're on the hook for everything that happens in New York, all right? So behave responsibly.
Yeah, Theo said exactly what everybody watching this was thinking. My guy, you talk big on camera, but when the real work, when you got put in the real office, when the real work actually happens, you folded like a beach chair, my boy. That wasn't a meeting, if you ask me. That was a reality check. Mamdani spent the campaign yelling at a caricature, right? But he walked into the Oval Office and met the real Trump. The one who disarms people with jokes, confidence, and presence alone. Campaign talk stops. You know, it just stops working when you're in the room with someone who doesn't flinch. And Mamdani, he learned that the hard way today. This ain't Twitter. This is governing season. So if you made it to the end of this video, I actually want you to put dang, I had it in my head too. I don't know. Let's put let's just keep reality check them. Yeah, there you go. Reality check them. If you made it to the end of the video, just so I know that you did, put reality check them in the comment section. Other than that, y'all be safe. Go check on a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace. I need to learn how to say that in like Spanish or something.